FM News Talk 97.1.
On-demand audio.
Jason Jones is joining us as well. You are the producer behind the movie Bella.
I'm one of the producers,
One of the producers. And I understand that you are working on a new project. We're going to talk to you about that. But this movie Bella, we've heard a lot about this. A lot of people's lives have been changed by this film. I'm glad to see you here. I knew who you were when there's been so many people sitting in front of this table. And then my husband comes up to me and says in my ear, well, we've got the guy who did Bella over here. Are you going to...
Well, can I tell you a secret?
Yes.
I don't want it to get out. Because conservatives aren't liked in Hollywood, we're told, right?
Right.
I've been coming to CPAC for 21 years.
What?
Can you believe it?
Have you really?
Oh, when I walk around here, I remember being like 19 looking at girls.
Oh, my gosh.
You know,
like old school with
I thought I was
going to
find my wife here.
Did you?
I met her on Waikiki Beach.
Oh, well, don't tell young conservative men that, because then they're
but
going to...
this is where you come. My daughter's here looking for her husband.
Perfect.
Nice.
Perfect. So the movie Bella,
Yes.
this was a fantastic film. You're also working on a new project, as I understand from what my producer was telling me. You're working with Dr. Alveda King on a new project.
Yeah, we have several films in production, and I just saw Dr. Alveda King, and we have a project. We haven't really even shared anything about it publicly yet. So, but it's a very special, powerful film that will have a strong pro-life message.
And this is great, and I love your pro-life stance as well. And this is especially... I mean, we had this was a huge debate during the presidential elections in the 90s. Now, we see it's a huge debate again because of the stances that the White House has been taking. First of all, we have the publicly funded taxpayer with the with abortion with Planned Parenthood. They're under congressional inquiry, but it's still happening. He said that I remember the speech that he gave on stage with Planned Parenthood,
right,
where he said, I'm going to make you a part of my platform and a part of my policies, and you're going to be there with me, making these promises they make millions and millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars.
Well, you know what's horrifying? To be here at CPAC, really, Obama's just following Mitt Romney's lead. I mean, Mitt Romney forced Catholic hospitals to administer the morning after pill. So if you're listening to the show and you're pro-life, you cannot support Mitt Romney.
No, you can't.
Barack Obama, it really is just going by the Romney playbook. You know, I saw here at CPAC, you see all these conservatives. It's like a Santorum rally here. And I'm supporting Senator Santorum, but I was expecting to see some support for Newt. And there's a little bit of support for Newt. Not even a lot of support this year for Ron Paul, like in normal years. But crickets for Romney, crickets. And then all of a sudden, buses come in, kids come out, Romney speaks, his kids go in and listen to him speak, and then they leave. It's phony.
It is.
Everything about the guy's phony. All he gives us is his kids he buses in and then leaves as soon as he's gone.
And he's not conservative.
No.
And so it's not a surprise that he's not courting conservatives. He's not courting grassroots. And he's not going to be able, that's been a part of his strategy from the get-go. I'm just going to ignore the grassroots. They're not going to have any effect on me whatsoever. He's not going to be able to win without appealing to the base. I don't think he should win the nomination, because I think it would be many steps back for the Republican Party.
And we'd lose, because for 21 years I've been volunteering on political campaigns and, started underlining names for voter ID from the white pages, in those old days. And who makes up the core of the team that gets out the vote? Conservatives.
Right.
And they're not going to volunteer 40 hours a week, knocking on doors, making phone calls. It's just not going to happen.
No.
The good news is he's not going to win the nomination.
There seems to be a lack of an enthusiasm, which I've been talking about for months now. I feel like I'm beating a dead drum, but you see it here at CPAC. The enthusiasm is centered around Rick Santorum, because he's not only a conservative, but he's a social conservative. Yeah. And the people who get out and knock those doors and will run you down in the street to talk about their candidate are those who are centered around, or at least have a touch on, the conservative principles, which are rooted in social conservatism.
And joining us right now is Dr. Alveda King, and I have to say, I saw her speak when we were at, I covered the 828 rally in Washington, D.C. when I was still with PJTV. Your speech, I was there 828, Dr. King, when you made your address there in front of the Lincoln Memorial, and it was an amazing speech, and it felt, you knew that you were witnessing a historic moment, being there with, it was over 1 million people that were there. Yeah. That was a great moment. That was a really good moment.
And guess what? He's going to do Restoring Love this summer, I think. It's in the works.
Ooh.
And that's going to even be more, well, I wouldn't say more powerful, because honor is good, but restoring love, because we got to have love.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I was speaking here with Jason Jones, too. We were talking about, well, of course we got, and I love that we were able to sit here and toss some dirt about some of the presidential nominees or candidates for the primary. But I know that you can't say too much about it. I am so curious as to the project. that you two are doing together, because separately you each do fantastic work.
Yeah.
And I'm such a huge fan of Bella and the work that you do, and obviously your words and the work that you do and the art. And I've watched you on television.
Thank you.
Can we have any hints as to anything that you're doing?
Not necessarily.
Crushed.
It's powerful, shocking,
Yes,
spiritual.
It is. And it's
Very
very
spiritual.
a little bit supernatural.
Supernatural.
Yeah,
And
there's
can't
some
wait.
angels in it.
And,
Yeah.
So when can we expect to see this?
Prayerfully around September, October.
Perfect.
Okay.
Justin,
So pray for us.
Justin, right before the election.
And
Just
can I
in
say
time to
something?
wrap us up.
I want to say this. I'm so privileged to be friends with Alveda. I burden her. I have a lot of friends in Hollywood, celebrities, rappers, and others, and we get in arguments about abortion and racism. I just call Alveda,
And I get
and she
calls
takes the calls.
because the time zones are different, right?
Uh-oh.
And then he'll say, "Can you talk to this one and tell them don't abort their baby?" Or, "Can
Yes,
you do
she
this?"
saved
Okay.
babies from
And-
celebrities.
And we do that. And I do have like a little antique now out on YouTube.
Uh-oh.
And if you Google Alveda King Latter, Latter, Rain, you can hear me rap on television.
I
Oh
wanna
my
hear that.
gosh, we have to pull that up.
I wrote that song and I produced it, but I'm in there rapping in it. It's so funny. So
Well, we
you have to-
I'm
we have
Googling
to
that
look
today.
that up. We were talking too right before you came over. We were discussing just abortion, and Stacey Washington here as well. We had this discussion about how it seems this is worse than what happened in the 90s with the fight over abortion. This is the government enforcing a mandate, pushing abortion on us, trying to weave it into the very DNA of the American spirit. We have the mandate now, and they say that they're going to make accommodations, which we were talking with the National Organization for Marriage spokesman who says that, yeah, it's not really accommodations, though. It's just on its face, cosmetically, it looks really nice, but when you get into the nitty-gritty, it's not so good. What is your reaction to this? Because we've been jolted into this discussion. It's been ongoing, but right now it's a huge campaign issue.
Well, no, there's been a huge outcry now. So President Obama, I think, is kind of rescinding. We're going to make the employers pay for you to get contraceptives, but now we want to give you contraceptives free. And so it's still more of the same problem. And as women, I kind of thought about this. I can't prove this, but I wonder if Nancy Pelosi and some of the others, especially from the Catholic community, who also don't mind the abortions and all that. And I'm thinking they're saying, President Obama, if you want to keep the Catholic vote and the African American vote, tell the women you're going to take away their birth control. I think that was in the mix too. But I've got this little statement. We did a press release earlier, and we're still trying to see where it's going to weigh out. But this is real quick. In response to the United States Department of Health and Human Services' intention to force paid insurance benefits for abortion drugs and harmful contraceptives down women's throats, to Planned Parenthood's strong-arm tactics to prevent women from knowing the harm contraceptives, abortion drugs, and abortion bring to the lives of women, including the link between the aforementioned and breast cancer. Now listen to this. You're going to love this one. And to the Congressional Black Caucus members' attempt to block the Susan B. Anthony Frederick Douglass Prenatal Non-Discrimination Act by attempting to rename the bill the Tea Party Determines What Rights Women Have Act, or the Ronald Reagan Imposes Your Beliefs on a Woman's Womb Act. They went on the floor of the markup and started talking like that.
Right.
So it's crazy.
Well, we're gonna cut to break here. We're up against the wall, but I'm just we're very blessed to have you both here, and we're very thankful of the work that you both have done. Jason Jones.
Well, you're a hero of mine, so keep it up.
Thank you. So that's great coming from you. We're gonna turn that into a soundbite.
There you have it.
Dr. Alveda King,
God
thank you
bless
so
you
much.
both.
God
Thank
bless
you,
you as
Dr.
well.
King.
Please let us know. I would love to hear about the new project.
We've got a lot
Thank
of
you.
movies coming out.
Thank you guys so much. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Congressman Steve King is going to join us, folks. We have one more segment until we finish our time here broadcasting live Radio Row CPAC 2012. It's The Dana Show.